Alright, what's up everyone, I'm Faloki and I'm back with another video. So today what we have is a Madden 21 wish list for the franchise side of the game. I'm sorry for the lack of videos that have been coming out because I really have just been busy, and recording the Dolphins franchise videos take quite a while, and then editing them takes even longer. So I'll try to get one of those filmed tonight, and I'll edit it for either the next day or the day after that, and I'll try to get back on schedule for creating more and more videos to have a consistent upload pattern. But on to the task at hand, the Madden 21 wish list that I have set up. Just a couple points on the franchise side of the game. It's obviously early to be making this because it's April and it probably won't come out until like September, but might as well say it early, see if any of these points can get across. So my first topic that I'm going to be talking about is fixing or adding to the current upgrading system for players. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the upgrading system that they have in place with the archetypes, but if they're going to stick with that, I'd say they have to at least add a run blocker archetype to the offensive line. There's a ton of other archetypes that they should add to different positions, but at least for the offensive line, add a run blocker archetype, because there are definitely players in the NFL that are solely run blockers that really are good at run blocking. The fact that they have a pass protector but not a run blocker archetype doesn't really make sense. Like, it makes sense if you want your player to get better at pass block, get better at run block, or get better at agile, or get better at power. It makes sense to have those four setups because that's about everything that you can upgrade in a offensive lineman. So just not having the option to upgrade run blocking, like it's all up to chance for the other things that you would pick to upgrade, is just, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Personally, I like to see a different or just a slightly changed system for upgrading. Like maybe instead of archetypes, do it based on drills. Like maybe every 5 upgrades you get for a player, you can do agility drills, which give them a high chance of upgrading speed, athleticism stats. Just an idea, but I think that there should be some changes to the upgrading system because it's been about the same the past few years. So on to my second topic that I like to talk about is just adding offensive and defensive coordinators. Because if you play the owner mode, you have a trainer, you have a scouter, you have a coach, which do certain things for the team. But if you're on, like, say you're on the coach mode, say you can pick an offensive and defensive coordinator, and that's how you pick your schemes instead of just being able to just switch up all the time. And they come with their own playbooks, and I think it'd make more sense for the changing of schemes and playbooks just to have offensive and defensive coordinators. Plus, it would just add another dynamic to franchise, which would make it a little bit more interesting. Alright, so the third thing that I'd like to talk about is improving the trading system. So most people that play Madden franchise, they could tell you that the trading system is a little bit off. Like, you'll either completely win the trade or you'll completely lose the trade. There's no real good trades between teams when it comes to Madden. And I think something that could be a good thing is, they have a scenario engine that they brought into Madden 20. If they bring that scenario engine into trading, that could add some interesting things, like how Bill O'Brien didn't like DeAndre Hopkins, so he traded him away for almost nothing. But really, I think that there should be an improved trading system because personally, when I play franchise, like, you see, like, you try to make a trade with a team that seems like it'd be even, but really they don't want to take it at all, and it gives like no progress. Like, I don't want to be making bad trades to just get something that I would relatively want. I don't want to give up my whole team to get like a decent player. I mean, I'm not Bill O'Brien. I want to make good trades, but I just think the trading system has some room for improvement, if not a lot. Alright, so my fourth topic that I'd like to talk about is free agency. An idea that I do have that could be difficult to implement, but I think it could be interesting, would be like a real-time event. Like, say for online and offline, because offline, everyone knows the CPU makes offers while you're not seeing them, so you can't see the offers that the CPU makes after you make your offers. And if you did see every offer that the CPU would make, it would be a little bit unfair because you could just top everyone. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense that they would make it so that CPUs can go after you, but I think the idea of a real-time event for especially offline and definitely online, it should already be a real-time event, but like, make it so that week 1 of free agency has 10 minutes, and then all of the other weeks have 5 minutes. Say someone at the top, say Tyreek Hill, somehow makes it to free agency. Say that he's at the top, a CPU makes an offer, and within the first minute, there's a bunch of offers from the CPU. You go and top them, and then at 2 minutes, those CPUs go back and they see that you top them. So if they either want to drop out of the bidding war or make their bid higher, I think that's a pretty good idea. So I think that could be a good addition. It might be difficult to implement. That's why it's a pretty big maybe on this list, but I think it would be a good idea. All right, so my fifth topic that I'd like to talk about is breakout opportunities and dev trait increases. So one thing that for sure has to be added is the possibility to go up multiple dev traits in an off season. Like take Patrick Mahomes for example. He probably say in Madden he would have gone from a normal dev to a superstar dev. How he just skyrocketed into a star in the NFL. So that's really something that needs to be able to be implemented so it's more realistic. Obviously, it needs to be very hard to get for a quarterback, especially, or anyone. But like say you have a wide receiver, he wins wide receiver of the year, he leads the league in every statistical category. He has to go up more than one dev trait. He has become a star. He deserves to go up more than just from normal to star. So I think that that could be a big change, and just add breakout opportunities for different players. Like quarterbacks, they don't have breakout opportunities. Like they can't get a breakout chance, even though quarterbacks are one of the most likely players to break out in the NFL. Like to go from someone that no one knows to becoming a star really quickly. I think that they should add more breakout scenarios for different players, and don't make it as straightforward as everyone else. So like adjust it periodically, maybe like say a wide receiver, make it so that he could only get touchdowns or only get yards. Sometimes maybe have it like lower or higher for different players depending on how good they've been doing in the season. But I mean, there's a lot of room that can be worked with for the breakout chances and dev trait increases. So there's a lot of things that can be done, and hopefully Madden will do something with it. All right, so my last topic that I'd like to talk about in terms of just the franchise mode is the face of the franchise. I didn't play face of the franchise much because there wasn't much to play. So the storyline was pretty lackluster, and once you got into the actual season, it was just playing normal games of Madden as a quarterback. So I think that there's a lot of room for improvement, and obviously this was like their first main year of having a career mode and a storyline for it. So they're probably going to continue to progress that because that's how they got a lot of people to play the game. But I think maybe giving an opportunity for different positions and different storylines for those different positions could be a good idea. Just adding to how someone would want to play, because not everyone wants to be a quarterback. Say someone wants to be a wide receiver and they get a completely different storyline than what a quarterback would get. Someone on the defense would get something than what that wide receiver would get. Just the amount of variety would definitely help in something like that. And on the same topic of the face of the franchise, I think some mid-season storylines would be a great thing to add, like trades or something, like the possibility to be traded if you're doing pretty bad. I don't think you should start as a superstar X Factor. I think the possibility to have a breakout game yourself would be a good idea. But just there's a lot of things that can be done for the face of the franchise that could really help the game to be better next year, especially like just more interesting in general. I think the interest in Madden is low because once you get going into a season, it just gets really boring because everything is very repetitive. So adding things that can really change how the game is played would be a good thing to add. Alright, so now I have two kind of mini topics that I'd like to talk about in terms of gameplay for Madden 21, what I would like to see, and like a lot of people that play the actual game of Madden, less animation-based gameplay would be an amazing thing to have. Obviously, they'd have to completely rework their engine, which is a huge thing, and I don't think Madden will ever do that because, I mean, it's just so much work, and EA doesn't want to put that much money into it, I'd assume. But less animation-based gameplay and more on physics. There's a lot of tackle animations and like blocking animations, but they're very scripted, and it's very hard to play the game when something so scripted can ruin your experience. But that's just, I mean, not much detail really goes into that. Everyone's kind of mentioned it before. Just less animation-based gameplay and more things that happen based on physics would be a nice add. And then the final topic that I'd like to talk about, which goes into the gameplay category once again, would be reworking the superstar abilities because they're relatively annoying, and by relatively I mean they are very annoying, some of them, and some of them are completely useless. I think that Superstar X Factor players should get like an ability for that. Say Derwin James, instead of having a superstar ability that gives him the ability to hit stick and make you fumble, that should be a Superstar X Factor, so he has to complete a certain set of tasks, and then he gets a Superstar X Factor increased or activated, and then he can start getting hit sticks for fumbles way more. But I think superstar abilities like the just for superstars, not superstar X Factors. I think everything should be reworked so that the superstar X Factors are overpowered, and then the superstar abilities kind of just like how 2K has like being in the zone. Just like the superstar abilities should be like you do some things very small and it increases key stats to make you play better, but it doesn't make like the RNG of having a hit stick fumble go up. So just something like that would be a good ad, and obviously it's a 2K thing, so EA might stray away from that, but I think it would be a good ad. And that is going to do it for this video. That is the end of what my wish list would be. Let me know in the comments if you agree with any of these points, anything that you would like to add on, anything that you'd like to change from what I said. And yeah, thank you for watching. Have a great day.